Hey, you guys, how's it going? This is the Brightside with Mikey and Rachel. I'm Rachel,
I'm Mikey.
and we're here to talk about Lindy Hop, our opinions, and basically whatever else we feel like talking about.
Like, a question from Steve Juan. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was pretty good. How was
Yeah.
your weekend?
It was long and weird and, full of awkward poops in the bathroom.
Awkward poops?
Yeah, I mean, I have a long... Camp Hollywood has a long history for me of having very awkward poops.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it? That's all you have to say about it?
No, there's a lot more. There's a lot
Oh.
more. There's a lot more. I mean,
Cool.
I could tell you about one of the many awkward poops.
I mean, I don't know. If you want, if you really feel like divulging me right now.
Well, okay, I will say this. I won't go into the stories, but the thing is it's about Camp Hollywood is it's a huge convention center, right? You saw it.
Yeah.
You were there one of the nights here, right?
Yeah.
Huge convention center underneath the hotel. It's gigantic, and what comes with huge places, obviously they have a bunch of people in there, so they have gigantic bathrooms. There's you could fit so many people, so many men's, and so many probably women's. I've never been in there, so
It's probably larger.
so the thing is, that's what she said. So,
Heyo.
heyo. But the thing is that while there's so many people, and there's just so much stuff happening that every time I go there, there's always a story to tell. Every time I go into I'm not going to go into it, but seriously, there is.
Well, okay.
But how was your fun? Did you have fun the one time you were there?
Yeah, I was at Camp Hollywood on Friday night. It was fun. I had a lot of fun catching up with my friends.
I didn't see you once.
I didn't see you either. I didn't actually think you were there on Friday.
No, I was there. I was
Where
there on
were
Friday.
you?
I was mostly making the rounds and saying hi to a bunch of people, but that band wasn't my flavor that night. And
Yeah.
you tried. I saw you dancing from a very far, and then I was
Did you?
I was gonna come in, and then I was sidetracked.
Yeah, I didn't have a good night of dancing.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the band. And then at the late night, everybody who I was dancing with was being really grabby.
Yeah.
And grabbing my arms and grabbing my waist, which is a super pet peeve of mine when people grab onto me.
Really?
I'm
I've never noticed that.
I'm okay, let's get one thing straight here. All right.
Oh, man.
So then I was okay, I got to take a break.
I gotta walk away from this.
I gotta walk
shake
away
it off.
from it.
Shake it off.
And then before I knew it, it was 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I was okay, time to drive all the way home.
That is the funny thing about that. That and another place like Lone Star Lindy Fest, where it's all inside the hotel.
Yeah.
You barely see outside. I mean, luckily there's some windows, but still.
There's a couple windows
There's
in
a
the
couple
hotel,
windows.
but for the most part, it's a prison cell.
No outside
You
lights.
can't go out.
Yeah. But that is, I mean, especially for Camp Hollywood, there was a lot of first timers this year.
Yeah.
And it's the 19th year. Next year is going to be the 20th. And there's a lot of first timers, which is always really funny to me because they go there and they're it's very different here. And they don't mean it in a negative sense because every time I made a point, every time anybody says that about Camp Hollywood, I'm how do you mean? Because I
Yeah.
know what it means to me because I believe the same thing. But I embrace that difference because the contests run a little bit different. They're titled a little bit different from the rest of the scene, but I get it, and that's cool. But it makes people throw down in a different way. They change their idea of how to approach the contest.
Yeah. Well, I think of all the events that I've been to, that Camp Hollywood has the most distinct identity
Yeah,
of any other event.
yeah. I mean, they have this thing called Miss Camp Hollywood, right? It's a
Yeah.
beauty pageant type thing, and it's pretty legit. I found out this year. I didn't know. Nikki, who's a past Miss Camp Hollywood, she was telling me, she's you have to sign up 3 months in advance. They close it the month before, and you have to send in this paperwork, and you have to
Yeah.
do this survey. And I'm the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought it was just for fun.
You also have to have a talent, right?
Yeah. There's a talent portion. Then you have to answer a question. And you have to have banter, and at the same time, it's all and you're in a vintage. Usually, everybody is in a vintage bikini or something similar to that.
Yeah.
Vintage bathing suit, I guess, not bikini.
That's something that I always wanted to see at Camp Hollywood and just haven't been able to
Bring
catch
your
it yet.
sunscreen because it is very long, and it takes a long time for them to go through it because they're really silly and really loose about it.
Yeah.
So a contestant could be up there for 5 minutes or 20 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah. There was
That's crazy.
There was a couple different things. Someone saying, I like big butts.
Cool.
Another person recited Latin poetry, and
Whoa.
and like yay old English like version or Nordic English. I don't know what the fuck it was, but Beowulf, which got the MC Tim Wolfman, the guy with the big ass beard. He was like up because he loves that shit, and he was like, ah! He was like yelling along with it. It was
oh my gosh,
hilarious. Yeah. And and my favorite is always every year. Like I feel like every year they've had it. Alice Pie from Long Beach.
Yeah.
She's tried to be in it, and she looks great. She dresses herself up and does the whole thing. But then she goes up there and she just makes a mockery of it. She's like, her talent's like, I'm gonna sit here and eat a hamburger for a minute, and she just did that, and that was her talent.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then she got asked the question of like what's your favorite thing to do at Camp Hollywood? She's like, drink.
And ain't that the truth?
I mean, it was something like that, but it was just like a one-word answer, and it was just like done, like mic drop.
Wow.
She cray, but I love her. Like she is who she is. She is who she is. I'm not gonna take that away from her.
No, that's super fun.
Right? I mean, you know her a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like her.
Yeah. Oh, it totally sounds like her. Totally.
But because they have that there, they have it out by the pool, and again, because it's such a giant hotel, like they cater to conventions. They have a giant outside pool area, and if I'm like I was teaching this year, usually, I mean, I'm really lucky to be able to teach there.
Fancy.
I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, but like they asked me to teach there.
Actually, I didn't notice. I had no idea that you were teaching there.
That's true. That's true. We did talk about it beforehand. You're like, wait, what?
Like, I didn't know you were gonna be there.
I mean, that's cool. That's to be fair, I'm only on the flyer. That's cool.
I mean, like, I'm kind of a big deal. I mean, okay, it's a picture of me from like 20 years ago, but whatever.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, but the picture's kind of old, right?
Like 6 years old. It's just
okay. It's like 6 years old. That's still pretty old.
It's like the last time I fully shaved.
Okay.
I was like because everyone was looking at it, they're like, that it's you, right? That's you. But like they think it was like a long time. It was only 6 years ago.
Yeah, but that was before your hair was nicely coiffed. It was still when you were doing the hair flips.
Yeah, exactly.
Your hair's like flipping up in the background.
It's been doing some stuff lately.
It's been super humid.
It's been super, and it's been like floppy again. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God, my hair was so floppy at ILHC. I was dancing with Carl Nelson, and he was like, we both have really floppy hair right now. And I was like, dude, you are telling me I can feel it all over my head.
Seriously, he was doing some like he had like a little like much more shaved on one end than I did, and like he let it grow much more, and his hair is actually probably curlier than mine.
Yeah, his hair is really curly.
It looked pretty cool. Like he could pull it off.
Oh yeah.
But if I was to pull it off, it just looked like I was in an 80s band, like bad 80s band.
You tried for a long time there.
I mean, trying is such a strong word. Like, like genetics.
Trying is such a strong word.
But yeah, so Camp Hollywood was really fun. I had my grandfather passed away, and I've told you about this.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to talk about it just because like it not too much, but his memorial was on Saturday, so I left Camp Hollywood. And I told the organizers, and we rearranged some schedule stuff, and they were very, very, very helpful. And I thank Camp Hollywood and Hillary for helping me out with that. But the thing was, like, what I wanted to share is that it was strange at first, but then it was so nice to like leave an event, and be with my family, because we were all like so much more inviting, because we were celebrating the life of my grandfather, and because of him in many different ways, I'm here in America doing this dance, so like all these things beget the next, and like it started from him, and so I just wanted to say that out loud, that if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And I'm very, very lucky. And to my family that is probably listening to this out there, I don't know why they are. They listen to this. I told you that. Yeah. They listen to this. They have no idea what I'm talking about, but they're like, you sound so fun. You and Rachel sound so fun.
And you're like, actually, I'm also fun in real
life.
Yeah,
exactly.
You didn't know, but.
Oh, well, most of my family thinks I'm like a devil spawn. And
I wonder why.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but to everybody out there listening and everything, thank my family for being around. If it wasn't for them, I would not be here. And also the coolest thing about it is that, I already said that, didn't I? I left, and it was so nice. It was so cool to come back. And I was like, I feel back. I came back so fresh.
You just feel refreshed and renewed and being like, okay, let's get back into the game.
Yeah, it was dope.
That's awesome.
Cool. Anyways, so stuff like that.
Should we jump into the topic?
Yeah, let's jump into the topic. I think we want to talk about like the way like working with partners and the things that come along with that.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you were telling me, we have so many stories.
We have so many stories. Who was your first partner ever?
Oh my God. Okay, let's see. Funny story. I really wanted to dance with this. I was 13.
I was just about to make a joke and be like, I was 12.
Yeah. It's so funny. It is true, but like everything happened.
I passed her a note in class.
It kind of was. Like it kind of was. I mean, this was like pre-MySpace too.
Oh, MySpace.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-Friendster.
I was never on Friendster.
Oh, look at you, hipster. You should make that a pin.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
I was never on Friendster.
I was never on Friendster.
Actually, that'd be really fun. $1 million idea. So anyways, yeah, I wanted to dance with this one girl that was in our class. It was a junior jitterbug, so everybody was around.
Okay.
Preteen or teen. And I really wanted to, and then I danced with her, and then there was like, we all met up. There was going to be in the team together in a group, and I wanted to go on dance. And then I started dancing with this other girl who I hadn't met before, but she was in another part of the class, another part of the week. And I was like, I want to dance with you. And then like we danced together, and our teacher was like, yeah, you guys are dancing together. And her name is Cassandra. She lives in Phoenix now, and she still dances out there a little bit every once in a while. But Cassandra was my first dance partner. I totally crushed on her for many years. Aww. And then it ended very horribly. And then now we're friends, and it's great. And now we have our own individual lives. It's great. It's good.
Cool. Yeah.
But that was mine. What was yours? Who was yours?
Mine was Anthony Chen.
Oh,
some of you may know him out there. I'm sure people are like, Anthony Chen, swoon.
Oh my God, his hair.
What a hunk. The funny thing is that Anthony and I went to the same high school. We were a grade apart. And we don't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, no wonder. I mean, okay, yeah.
We like grew up like maybe a mile or two away from each other. We don't know how we met. Like we were just friends all of a sudden. Like we have talked and searched for so long, and I just don't remember how we met.
In high school though?
I don't know. I don't know if it was in high school. I don't know if it was in college. All I know is that all of a sudden he was like in my life and we were dancing. Like I feel like I probably met him through dance.
You like just woke up and we were dancing together. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it was the weirdest. He just like suddenly he was just appeared in my life. I don't know.
It's like that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where all of a sudden she just had a sister all one day.
I never saw that show, but that sounds exactly how my relationship with Anthony was.
It was. It's like you never heard about her for 3 years of the whole movie, and then all of a sudden, there she was, and it's like, Mom, and that's what I bet you guys did. You just started dancing together like it was nothing.
Well, I don't remember how our partnership started. Maybe Anthony could chime in and over the internet.
Well, luckily he's here right now.
Right now.
Just kidding, everybody. No one's here except for cats and us.
But I do remember we were dancing, or like he was like around in the scene, and then he went off to Atlanta for some sort of summer program. He was gone for a few months, and he came back and he was like significantly better. He had like learned a lot while he was in Atlanta. Yeah. And I guess it was because we were just like dancing really well together. I don't know if there was ever like, hey, you want to be my partner? Or if it just kind of like organically came about. The first competition we ever competed in together was at the Phoenix Lindy Exchange in 2007. Mm-hmm. It was a Charleston competition. I'm pretty sure we did terribly. I was so nervous. And then, I just watched a video from Lindy on the Rocks in 2009. Where it was the first time we ever made finals. Was that the big, like, kind of dark area that was, like, really nice on the inside? The architecture was really cool. The Sherman Ballroom? Yeah, that's what it was there. Yeah, it was there. And, oh, man, our dancing was so bad. It was so bad. And I remember comparable to now or comparable to the people that were dancing in that same contest? Oh, compared to the people dancing in the contest, we were probably comparable. Really? I mean, we were comparable. Okay. We weren't. Sorry, I tuned out for 1 second. We weren't like way worse than everybody else. Okay. I would say that we were probably some of the newest dancers in that competition, but we weren't the strongest by any means. It's funny because I remember being in that competition and watching everybody and being like, whoa, these dancers are so much better than me. Look at all these tricks they're throwing. They're so good. And then I looked back at the video and I was like, oh man, we're all just such a mess. and Anthony, like, we spent so much time like trying to figure out what our outfits were gonna be so that we could match.
Was it like jeans?
No, he wore like a purple button up and black pants, and I wore like a black shirt and then a purple skirt.
Ah, look at that.
And then he wore a hat, and then at the end he like threw the hat on my head, but it was like way too big for my head because he's got a giant head and I have a pinhead. And so he like threw it on my head, but then it just fell over my face because my head is so small.
Yeah, like so you're saying you have a baby-sized head and it just like went over like. Wah.
A baby-sized head is probably understating how tiny my head actually is. Like, I actually have to shop in the children's department for a hat.
Or glasses.
Or no, I can wear adult-sized glasses. I don't know how that works. Now that I say those two things out loud. But I have never found an adult hat that fits my head. My head is so tiny.
Yeah.
I can palm my own head.
I mean, yeah, I'm watching you do
like
that right now. That is very strange.
You have a giant head.
Yeah. My ears will never touch. Apparently, you can touch both. Yeah, look at that. Like, I can't even. You can touch both ears.
Well, you don't even want to put your hand on your head.
Why?
You
Why
don't
you gotta call me?
Don't want to mess up that perfect coif you've got going.
It's
not unlike my messy Bessie floppy hair over here.
It's coffee.
It's coffee.
It's coffee talk. Partnerships, man. I mean, there's so many things. Like I remember for a long time that I didn't want to partner because I didn't understand what it actually meant to be in a partner dance.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, we social dance, and that's very, very that's a good big section of it.
Yeah.
But that's not the whole thing. Like, if you really want to experience it in a different way, like, it really takes it to a whole nother level when you can talk to somebody about it and like work on maybe one thing, what a move or a technique or an idea, whatever, and into a whole nother level. I feel like that's been tradition since the very beginning.
Yeah.
As in, like, if like Frankie talks about like putting down the mattress and like figuring out like how to throw somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like something like that, where I'm sure all of us have been there at one point where like we're like, let's just throw a pillow on the ground and like see what or like a cushion from the couch and just like let's just see what happens. This will be fine, right? And you completely miss it if you're doing an aerial or something.
Oh, we've done that before.
Oh my gosh, I have a story like that. And it is horrible, but I'm going to tell anyways. With Cassandra, my first dance partner, we were in my garage because we thought it was bigger.
This story is already bad. You're in your garage.
We're in my garage. and because we're like, well, it's bigger. It's great. We could dance in there. And we were doing a routine. It was 2000. Yeah, it was 2000. And we were doing a routine. And it was like this aerial section where it was like two different. It was the one where, like a hip trip, you know, like I get her behind me and I get her around.
And she does like the backflip.
Yeah, so I get her around like this and to my front. Yeah. And then instead of holding her hand in front of me and holding her back with my right, I let go of the hand one and I take the hand underneath her and I do a backflip.
Okay.
So I take her around my body and then back in front of me and then grab her back and then throw her over to my right.
Wait, okay. So she comes from one side to the other side of you, and then she flips off to the side where she originally came
from. Exactly. It's like that finishing move, you know, people like the leader stands in front and then like brings her all the way around.
Yeah, and then her feet fling up.
Yeah, like an L-shaped type thing, yeah. And it's like a dip, right? But instead of ending it there, like I take that energy and I flip it back the other way.
Okay.
I mean, it was really fun to do. Like we had seen somebody do it once in a jam and we're like, let's try. And like we had gotten pretty good success on it before. I mean, classic final words, right?
Yeah, right.
Famous last words. We tried a couple times. It was great. It was great. Yeah, and we're like, let's do it in the garage. Oh, Jesus. It sounds even better. So we did it, and I remember vividly because we were like, let's do that section with music. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And then we did it, and as we did it, like the whole time we were dancing up to that point, which was like maybe a couple eights. I can already feel like the connection wasn't there, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it. This is what's gonna feel like we're performing. What if we don't do it? So then I'm gonna make this happen.
Right.
And so I'm doing it, and I can feel like her hesitation, but I'm like halfway. I'm like, my hands are underneath her, and she's like in front of me, and I'm about to flip her, and I can feel her go. I hear her say no. But I'm like, it's way too late. It's way too late. If I bailed, like, I don't even know how I could have bailed from that selection. And I'm like, I can't.
You said that?
Yeah. And then I keep trying to flip her, and she just, like, all of her energy goes down as opposed to around.
Oh,
and so she comes down, and she falls down onto her, like, right side of her body. So she fell, like, probably 3 or 4 feet onto the floor of my garage.
Was she okay?
She was shocked. She was in shock. Like, I don't think she didn't break any bones.
Yeah.
Or anything, but like definitely like that. And I remember like calling her mom and like being like, "Oh my God, get over here. Like, we don't know what to do. Like, she fell and like we were doing an aerial." And she's like, "I'll be right there." And she didn't live too far.
Yeah.
But she was there in like 2 minutes flat.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've never had an incident like that. I've never had an incident like that.
Thank your lucky stars.
The incident that I did have was one year Groove Juice Special was working on this group aerial for our notorious terrible 2011 routine.
The terrible 2000s.
Don't watch it. It was so I was like in tears throughout the entire performance.
People
it was
are
terrible.
typing it up right now.
They're like, "Oh, I gotta watch it now." We're doing this group aerial where I like put my foot into Danny Easley's and Brett's hand, and they like catapult me up, and then I belly flop into everybody else's arms, and then they front flip me over onto the ground. In practice, it went super well. So we're practicing. It's like one of the
famous last words, right?
Famous last words.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first times that we were practicing, and we had all these extra people there to help spot, and Brett was like, he was supposed to be like one of the main spotters. So we go, and I like totally crash onto the ground during that front flip.
Right.
And we're like, I think we had a mat or something, but I like fall on the ground, and everybody's like, and I look up, and Brett is on his phone with his arms crossed.
No.
Not even paying any attention to me.
Oh no.
And he's like, what? She's fine. And then he looks down at me and he goes, "You're fine, right?" I was so mad.
Oh man. Holy shit. I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing about partnerships that's always the best. It's fine. It's fine. We get so okay with each other because we're just like in such close proximity to each other, dancing, and then like holding on to each other and like trusting ourselves. We're like, yeah, we're good. You're good. We're good.
Right?
It's such a weird extra relationship that comes along with dance partnerships. Like, it's definitely a relationship. I mean, any relationship, like a friendship is a relationship, but knowing someone sort of one way is sort of somewhat of a relationship. And then there's romantic ones, but there's like little pieces of each one of those other regular relationships we have that come into partner dancing.
Yeah, well, partner dancing is so intimate because you're in other people's space all the time, you know? And you have to be like, okay, how are we going to do this? And then if you're teaching, then you have to like, or if you're working professionally, you have to, you know, work your career around this other person.
Build a rapport off each other.
Yeah, it's so complicated.
It really is. Like, besides that, so we talked about like the painful parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember a couple other times, but like nothing was as traumatizing as that being a 14, 15-year-old
kid. As the garage incident.
Yes.
Dear God.
Oh man. Have you ever gotten any like fights with a partner, like where you didn't talk to them for a while, or maybe like words were exchanged?
Man. Kevin Clark and I used to really go at it.
You said first and last name. You didn't
Kevin
even like
Clark.
Kevin and then alias last name. You could have had like that.
Kevin is one of my best friends in the world. Yeah. We've been friends for a really long time, and I'm pretty like it's gotten to a point where I'm pretty certain that we're gonna be friends for the rest of our lives to some extent.
Right, live in the same old home.
Yeah, yeah.
old people home.
Same old people home, right next to God. That would be terrible. We would be such troublemakers. But there were several years where we just did not get along very well.
Yeah.
It was one of those situations where we loved each other and cared for each other very much, but we didn't necessarily always like each other. And so it made working together difficult sometimes. Right. I think for the most part, like when we were teaching classes, that went well. It was mostly when we were practicing together and like trying to form ideas, or when we were choreographing on our team together, that we would butt heads the most. What about you?
I mean, I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I just like grunted. I'm like, don't ask me.
Man.
Don't ask me. Okay.
Of course, I'm gonna ask
All
you.
right. So let's say I haven't had a ton of partners, but
Okay.
I have had a few, and each one is very different than the next.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
completely different. But I mean, nothing really horrible. No, I mean, like nothing like where like we're like yelling at each other or like not talking for a long time afterwards or anything.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
And to be,
But
Kevin and I never actually yelled at
No,
each
I
other.
know, but when I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, what's the problem? You know, I'm like, oh,
Problem central.
Definitely been upset at each other.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, I'm already kind of a like passive person. Like I can be very shitty to somebody.
And when you say passive, do you mean passive aggressive?
I can be really shitty to people.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is more like it's more like I'm upset at you. I'm gonna look at you in a way that will make you feel horrible and not say more than 2 words to you.
Are you one of those people, like if you're annoyed with somebody and they're like, hey, was that okay? What can I work on? And you'd be like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I'll just be like, let's just do it again. Don't worry about it.
There's a lot of head nodding there
yeah,
for
like, yeah,
those of you who couldn't see us.
Yeah, just it's like I can like get into the mode if I want to, but it's not very good. I mean, my dad has it, my brother has it. It's very inside my family. Like,
Yeah.
I'm upset at you. I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm gonna stare at you from the other side of the room.
Whisper.
Yeah. And it's very just a few words as answers. Like, I mean, those aren't even words. Like,
Do you to kind of, well, okay.
Okay, so here's what happened. So I remember vividly. There's a couple times. It was like,
Okay.
for sure, we would get in each other's case. I'll talk. I'll say me and Nikki for sure. Like, I know she won't mind. Like, we've been through so much. Like, she's been my longest time partner forever, for like so long.
If you guys had never argued for the amount of years that you've been working together, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. But we both kind of do it the same way.
Yeah.
It's just at different times. And usually it's like one of us just gets too tired and we're just like, you know what, just fuck it, whatever. And we get these faces towards each other and we both know it, but we can't do anything about it in that moment. We're not going to let the other person do anything about it. So we're both like working on something, nothing will happen. And we just get real silent with each other and just like, you know what? Just sleep on it, and then we'll come back tomorrow. Like, and we're not saying it like that, but like, you know, I'm just gonna sleep on it.
It's
Yeah,
kinda
just
like
let me
that.
sleep on it. Let's just whatever. And then of course we're like walk away from each other. We're both like, fuck.
Oh man, those sessions can be so frustrating when you just get so tired or frustrated in the moment.
I mean, I'm not gonna say names, but here I've seen this many times from this one couple, and so I just mouthed who it was. Do you hear what I said? Okay. So I mouthed who it was to Rachel. You guys will never know. And first off, they're amazing dancers in their own right. And then together, they've created so many different amazing routines and like parts of Lindy Hop that are just great. But you would never know how they actually worked, like how they did it until like you see it happen and you're just like, they're just yelling at each other the whole time.
Yeah, I think.
And getting on each other's nerves. They're pressing each other's buttons as they do it. And yet that drives them, that pushes their buttons to get to that next part to actually do it eventually.
What's amazing to me is and maybe when I say this, I might sound like I was really naive at the time, but when I was a younger dancer and I would watch these amazing performers or like people throw down in these competitions, I'd be like, wow, how inspirational. These people are just like creating magic every moment of their lives. And it wasn't until I started like really working with a lot of people and being like, oh, this is a lot of like arguing and rehashing and, you know, like going over the tiniest minutia just to move forward.
It's so true.
It can be so frustrating.
And this couple that we're talking about definitely did that. But the thing is, it just depends on how you work with somebody or how you work internally. I feel like that shit can work. That shit can completely work. I mean, we've seen it many times. Like people just like, they have to like force it out of each other through some kind of weird method. Yeah. Right. But
how do you work?
Well, I work in different ways. Like, so like in choreography stuff, like I used to just try it. Music. Like, cause I couldn't count the music. And so I was just like, let me hear it over and over again. Or if I'm trying to copy something from like a video clip or something else, like watching it over and over again, watching slow-mo, watching it over and over again, and then trying it a couple times.
Wait, can we pause for a second? You said that you couldn't count?
Like, I still can't count. Like,
you can't count?
Well, I can count, but I couldn't count the music before. I didn't know how to do it.
Well, how long had you gone before you could count music?
Let's see. My first couple gigs, I could hear it. I couldn't really stay with it. Like I can probably count like up to 2 8s, and then after that I just lose it. I don't know where I am anymore. So it took a lot of time. So that was like 2005 was probably around when I first started teaching. Okay. And then not until like I could strongly say like for 4 years, like I was really bad at counting, or like if there's no music and like keeping the rhythm pretty steady.
As an instructor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that whole time as I'm doing that, like I'm like, I don't know what count that is. Like I don't know what that is either.
That's
like,
crazy.
So I had to learn it. It took a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was internal. Like I can internalize it and kind of feel it. But I couldn't put the words or the numbers or like really tell you what exactly I was trying to do. You couldn't
express it. Yeah.
What about you? Could you count it right away? I'm like, you're like looking at me, you're like, really? Like, I'm like, yeah.
Well, again, it was one of those things that I assumed like most instructors are like so in tune with the music that they can like really break it down. Mm-hmm. I remember taking a couple classes specifically on the teachers like teaching us where the one was and just having us like count over and over again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was really hard. That was probably like 6 months into my dancing.
But wow. That's awesome.
But I feel like I didn't get really confident in counting and understanding music until like, I don't know, until I started like the Rhythm Project back in like 2011.
But I feel like even then, like it's not something you can really necessarily learn in a class, in an hour class. Like you just have to listen to it a whole bunch and then like actually tap your foot to it or like snap to it or like listen to it. And then you really hear the similarities in every song, but also you learn to see the fluctuations and the differences and the nuances.
Yeah. I mean, and I still don't feel like I understand music that well.
But that's the beautiful thing about our dance is because it's a partnership. One of the people can be like this very abstract thought process, like just feeler, and the other person can be more analytical and like straightforward and uses the numbers. Yeah. And that's when two partners can come together, and like teachers or whether they're putting choreography together, like they can really excel.
That was something that made Kevin and I really strong. Was he knows music super well, and he was able to really break it down, and I was more of the feeler.
What if we tried to do this? And then Kevin's like, we need to do it on 5. And then you're like, okay, but hear me out on this.
Oh my God. A, I cannot tell you how many times that probably happened to us. And B, I remember so many times on Groove Juice Special where Anthony Chen and Kevin Clark would argue over a single count of like whether this rock step was happening on 7 or 8 and why it should happen on 8 instead of 7 and how abstract that is and how unabstract that is.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. There was one session.
You just gave the biggest eye roll I've ever seen you do. That was insane. Go ahead.
I don't remember what we were working on. I remember we were in the gym at the University of New Mexico and we were working on some sort of performance. And we spent the entire time talking about this one step and whether or not it was going to be on 7 or on 8 or on 1 or on 2 or something.
And I bet you guys let it go for a little bit and then it came right back again.
Oh, man. Those were some rough days.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
But that alone right there, tells you how hard it is as a partnership. Because again, if you're thinking in two different ways and two manners of thinking, and there's many different manners of thinking about feeling the music or counting it and feeling it. Someone may hear something. I'm just gonna say a number like on 6, and the other person hears the opposite side of that thing on 7. Because right, if it's a dun, like it's something like that, someone hears the high part, and then someone else hears the low part, and you're like, no, it's on this one. It's like, no, it's on this one. No, it's on this one. And then someone just needs to come by and just be like someone needs to be the judge and be like, you're both right. Shut up. Just pick one, and that's the one we're gonna hit. On. Yeah.
There's no wrong or right answer.
Yeah,
here.
Exactly. Because it's like for me, jazz, it kind of goes like one begets the next.
Yeah.
Next piece. So it's like one sets up for the next part.
Yeah.
Like that's how I always feel it. And so it's like you can hit the top end of it or you can hit the bottom end of it.
How do you deal with conflict when working with a partner? Like, say you guys have like totally different styles of choreographing, and you're listening to a piece of music and you have completely different ideas of what should go in this one section. Are you someone who is like typically willing to just give in and give your partner what they want, or do you like really stand your ground, or do you try to compromise?
It depends. Like I've felt like as you were saying, every one of those, like whether you give in or I stand my ground or compromise, like I've done all three. Yeah. I feel like I just felt like someone like I feel like something just not was right in the world when I said that. But maybe let's just say I have done all three.
I felt bad inside.
Yeah. Let's say all three, because I feel like I feel like I'm an okay person because I try to put the emotional part out of it as much as I can, which is hard in this kind of art form. But if I feel really strongly about something and I have a really strong idea, just like we talked about before, like there's multiple ways of thinking the same piece of music, for instance. I may think of it hitting it harder, and this other person may think of it, no, they want to flow through it. And I'm like, like I want to do it like so. But here's something I learned from Kevin, not Clark, but Kevin Saint Laurent, Kevin Laurent.
The other Kevin.
Yeah, the other Kevin. The other Kevin.
The other Kevin. Huh?
What a weirdo. Okay, so but working with him, he was really great. He works really fast.
Okay.
Really, really fast. But also in dancing, he works really fast too.
Yeah.
That was a girl joke. Okay, so
did you say that was a girl joke?
That was a girl joke.
Okay.
Anyways, just leave it there. Leave it there.
We'll just stick a pin in that and move on.
Yeah. So Kevin works really, really fast, but the way he does it is that with anybody he's working with. So like when he's working with me or when he's working with Joe, like, okay, here's my idea. Let's try it a few times. Okay, fix it. Okay, do you have an idea? Yes. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's fix it. Which one? Okay, well, I like this one. Okay, cool. Let's stick with that one. Then they'll do it again for another part.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's like, okay, maybe they combine the two parts. So that's the compromise. Or like maybe like, oh no, yours is better. Let's do that one. So there's all three right there. It's like standing your ground, compromising, or doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because but the key is you try all the ideas as much as you can.
I think that's super smart, and that's something that we didn't always do. Like on Groove Juice Special, for example, we would just
talk about it.
Yeah, we would talk about it and be like, well, so the first idea that would come up, we'd be like, okay, let's try it a few times.
Right.
And then we'd be like, oh, that totally sucks, and we trash it. Or we'll be like, oh, yeah, that works. Or this is really good. And then somebody else will be like, oh, well, what about this? And we'd be like, well, I don't know if this sounds as good. And then most of the time we would skip by it. And like sometimes we'd come back to it and be like, actually, this is better. But most of the time we'd be like, nah, let's not even worry about it. Let's just move on.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in that situation so many times, like where it's like, this is like, as I'm thinking about it, like I have like these stories hit me. I'm like, oh no,
oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's so weird. Okay, so this last routine that I did, I changed so much, and I've never felt that before. But like, I changed so much of the routine. Like we would do one part, and then okay, cool, happy with it, move on to another part, and then we move, and I'm like, cool, let's go back to the other part though, because I'm gonna fix this and change this. And okay, cool, it's good the first like maybe 3 or 4 times, but when it comes to like the 50th time when I'm start changing things, like I don't know why I did it. Like it just did it so many times. So this last routine I did with Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh man. God bless her soul. Like she just dealt with me so much.
Such a trooper.
But like it's just, I don't know what happened. Like, I mean, I go through the emotional roller coaster sometimes, but with this last one, there was something in me that was like going for something specific, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And every time I would try to do something, I'm like, yeah, that's it. But then I changed my mind because I'd hear it over and over again.
The classic artist struggle.
Yeah. And so it was that thing. It's like, it wasn't perfect, but like, just throw it down, just put it down. And then and then I could have done it. And then we could have done it differently, you know?
When you're choreographing, do you usually stick with what you come up with originally with like small tweaks?
It depends. Different ideas or different things. Like sometimes I have a real clear idea.
Yeah.
And then I can get to it. Other times it's just kind of like a vague feeling.
Wow. That's so crazy. I have never choreographed a piece where I have kept a large section of the original material I've made. Every single piece I've ever choreographed or helped choreograph, we would like choreograph the entire piece and then we'd go back and just rip the whole thing apart and basically like redo it.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I've never done it that way. I can definitely say that because like I have pieces in my head.
Yeah.
And then sometimes filler. So it's just different. But like a lot of the time.
That might be like.
What?
Because
what? Just spit it out.
It might be because I was working with so many people.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like most of the choreographing that I've done has been in a team setting, so I was working with 5 other very strongly opinioned people. It's not just like all by myself, and Mikey's just all by himself forever.
That was for everybody out there who loves Rachel singing.
You're welcome.
I'm
here all week. I am a great singer. I really pride myself in that.
As you turn pink right now.
Oh my god.
You're just completely pink right now.
My face is so hot right now. It's unbelievable.
We're going to keep that one in there. That one's going to be the fun part. But yes, 100%. Like it's in a group atmosphere, it can be very, very challenging. I know we tried to do it once, a couple times, and
you were on a team for a while.
It was really rough, but like the only way that worked was that we just sectioned off pieces of the music, and we're like, okay, you do this, or you two do this, or you three do this, or you just do this. Yeah. And then we're like, cool, moving on. That's a way as well. That wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
That wasn't my favorite. I like more. I don't subscribe to it, but like definitely I do like a little more like the Kevin and Joe way. They're like, you got an idea? Cool, let's try it. Cool. I have an idea now. Can we try that one? Cool. Okay, let's mix it together, or let's keep yours or keep mine.
Yeah, I like that.
And just move on.
Did you find when you were on the team and you guys were given different sections that the piece was not as cohesive as it could have been if you had all like choreographed together, or if one person had choreographed it?
No, because they would put up the piece and we would learn it for the most part, but every once in a while, like we would tweak it just a little bit.
Okay.
Like, as soon as they brought it to us, we would kind of like, oh, that's good, that's really good. Sometimes, yes, for sure, we would just keep that the way it is intact, or we would tweak it just a little bit because of that exact thing. The transition points would have to be somewhat similar, or another section would have to change slightly to fit another section. So we made it work as much as we could. Like the one we did was. Where it was meant to be kind of disjointed, where it was like 2 pieces. Okay. Because we had 2 ideas, and then we're like, what if we just combine them? 2 different completely. One song completely different from the other, which was Roll 'Em. Yeah. And we wanted to do like a LA style, like smooth style, but fast. Yeah. And we wanted to show off a lot of cool different moves that were like, these are LA inspired, like from the clips, old school stuff, the stuff that we learned from the old dancers. And then the second part was jumping to the Woodside. And that was just meant to be like, how many faster swing outs and how many variation of swing outs can we do? So that's what we did. That's what we did. That's
cool.
So that was the 2 ideas, and then we're like, what if we just brought them together? And it was meant to be a 4-couple routine. Okay. And the only time we ever did it was with 2 couples. Yeah. It was at Southwest Lindy Fest. Okay. When it was me and Nikki and Nick and Joe.
What year was that?
I want to say 2009.
Huh.
It was the year, Andrew was Andrew was doing his stuff there. I think that was the year you were there, actually.
Oh, I was definitely there.
Yeah, the year we were in that big suite where Tina had her invited guests. It was that year. And you guys were in the other room.
What year was that?
Yeah.
I think that was like 2011.
Was that? No
Yeah.
way. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think it was.
Yes,
think
it was. I think you're right. It was 2011. And I think it was maybe the last year it was at that hotel.
Yeah.
Right? And we were all in that big suite, and then we started listening to porn really loud, and then one of you guys had to come out and like, hey, that porn is really loud. It sounds really fun. Sounds really great, but couldn't you turn it down just a little bit? Yeah, it was really funny. It was really funny for us because we were like,
Okay, so here's a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if you can answer it.
Uh-oh.
What do you feel like? What is the best thing that you bring to the table in a partnership?
I don't like that question. I refuse to answer it. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I was gonna be like, but we have to have something to talk about.
We're
Mikey.
done.
We're
Record
done.
off.
Turn off.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, what is the best thing that you bring to a partnership?
I think for me, I have no idea. Because for me, I don't know. I feel my backward ass thinking probably.
Getting deep with Mikey.
Yeah, I think like just I've done so much performing and so much competing and so much different like little pieces and I've seen so many different things.
Yeah.
I get really tired of something real fast.
Yeah.
But I don't get bored very easily in my regular life, but like in dancing, like I can get bored real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it's been a long time and I just see these different things and I want to try these different things. I can never get them quite right and they don't look the best. And I don't know, like if it's simple things like we talked about this before, like looking at the audience or looking at the judges when you're swinging out, you know, like looking straight away as opposed to looking at your partner. But in so many of our performances anywhere around the world or competitions, we focus them on like all the old clips, which is like from one point of view, a camera, and it's always in the front. And so you want to look at the camera. You want to be seen by the camera. Look at my whole face as opposed to just the back of like my ear or something.
Yeah.
So instead in our Lindy Hop community today, we're usually encircled or if not three walled.
Yeah.
And so usually we only focus on the major part, but I like focusing on the side parts. Like I want to find a way to get them involved or like, if not, do an entire routine facing to the left as opposed to facing the front. Just because that would make me happy. That's
interesting.
So like, that's what I'm saying, like backward ass thinking.
Okay.
Like
Can you imagine a couple going out and doing their entire routine facing stage right?
Yes, I can.
And
I can.
How would you feel if you were judging that routine? Would you be like, what is going on here?
I would be so confused, but I would be confused the first second. Then the second, I would take my clipboard and my pen and I would run to that other part and sit on the floor and watch it from there. Because if that's what they wanted, that's no problem to me. Because I understand that. The first second, I'd be confused. And then right after that, I would be like, yep, gotcha.
I love that answer.
Oh, I fucking love that. If anybody does that, I will like, it won't get you up in the points, but I'm gonna be like, okay, that's so brave of you.
I'm going to one up you right now. What if they started the routine stage right and you're like, oh my God, I got to move to stage right so that I can watch the routine. Yeah. As soon as you do that, they turn stage left. And they start performing stage left. Are you just going to run all over the floor?
Yeah, I'll do it. I will do it. I can't speak for anybody else, nor would I want to, nor would I would believe other fellow judges would want to do the same thing. I have no problem with that. They can do whatever they want. But that's what I love about this dance so much is that we're not codified, and therefore we can do and judge the way we want to. I've only been ever one place where they wanted me to judge a way that they wanted me to do it.
Wow. Really?
That's it. I know at ILHC they have a couple of things, but that's what Sylvia Sykes is like. She has no problem saying that, and they're not very strict, like horribly strict. She's like, use your best judgment, but this is what we're looking for. This is what we like, and that's it. But I've only been to one place. I mean, I haven't judged at ILHC, but I know about that. But there's only been one place where they told me like they wanted this, and there was one specific thing where I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna say it out loud. I didn't fucking cop. I didn't do it. I didn't go with it.
What was it?
The way they were dressed. And I completely disagreed with it because that's my own personal thing. And I went along with everything else they wanted except for the one thing. I didn't. So therefore, the rest of the time I was judging, and I judged a lot that weekend. I did not care what anybody was looking at. It's like they could have come out completely naked. They could have come out with no shoes. They could have come out with wife beaters or whatever. I would have been like, cool. Can you throw down? Is it going to look good? Does it look like you put a lot of work into it?
Sweet. Great. Have you ever judged anybody based on what they're wearing?
Yes.
In a contest?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have for sure. And I'm not very proud of it.
Yeah.
Because, okay, sorry.
Sorry, motorcycle.
Sorry, motorcycles. It is. But I feel like I did it because I was not forced to do it, but like I think like peer pressured. Like I wanted to be like, yeah, this is the popular sentiment right now, and like all my friends, quote unquote friends, like are saying that like this is very important, so maybe I should hold it important. And it wasn't like a tiebreaker or anything. It was mostly like, well, they looked good and they put like extra like oomph in it, but I'm like, who cares? They're not trying. The people that I was judging weren't trying to be looking good. They were trying to fit a form that people have told them about. Yeah. And that's for me one of the things is about the Lindy Hop scene today is that we have to figure out a balance where it is something that was done a long time ago, but also we're doing it now and we're a part of that too. We shouldn't have to constantly have to throw back to what we've seen before. It's like someone like Peter Strom, like who would like wear awesome suits. Yeah. And then for like emceeing, and then like here comes Jack and Jill he's going to be in. He's like puts on his favorite flannel and favorite jeans. I believe more in like your power suits and not like suit like 3-piece suit. Your actual suits. Yeah, like I mean a suit like this is my favorite shirt and I like wearing this shirt. And not me right now, but I'm saying that like I like wearing this shirt when I dance. Like it makes me feel warm, but also makes me feel like I'm free to do whatever I want, or pants or shoes or whatever.
Since we're talking about this, it's totally not on the topic of what we're talking about today, but I want to ask you, do you think it's important for people to dress up in prelims?
No.
So many people do it these days, though.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think it's own prerogative. Like, you can do it. Anyone can fucking do it, but do it because it makes you feel good. Yeah. Don't do it because you think it'll get you in the finals. Because if I'm judging, I don't care. Yeah. Yeah. What I care about is your dancing. And if your dancing looks good, it's great. I mean, honestly, like if people are wearing shorts, like, okay, as long as you can dance. I mean, if people are wearing Air Salons, as long as you can dance. Even if you're wearing Air Salons. But I mean, like, here's the thing. Here's another thing. Okay, bring it back to the topic, but also saying on this kind of thing that we're going on is I like working. There's like Pamela. I've worked with Pamela and Nikki. And they're out of not saying anybody else is lower, but like out of everybody I've worked with, I never have to worry about what they're wearing. Yeah. And as a partnership, like that does matter. Like as long as I would ask like, does this look good? Like, do you think this will look good? Or like, and vice versa from a partner. Like, but with them, like I don't have to worry about it.
But Nikki always looks good.
Yeah, Nikki always looks good.
She's always killing it.
Always good in her dumb pants. There's an inside joke there. Don't worry about it. Clearly. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I know the pants that you're talking about, which are the pants that she wore during your guys' classic. Yeah. And when she came out, I was like, damn, those pants look good.
You and every other follow in that room completely. And still to this day, like she wore it the other night. And like she just gets compliments for these green pants that she wears.
Yeah, it was like, and that's like, a great color and a great shaped pant.
She was like, I don't know what to say to that. And then the person that said it was like, no, they're fucking fabulous. It's just that's how I say it. It's like your dumb pants. You and your dumb pants. Like I like you and your dumb pants. Shut up with those pants. Oh, like, you know, like it's so cool. Like I was just fucking hilarious. Anyways, but like, her and Pamela, like for sure, like never have to worry about it. Yeah. They do think of style. I think style comes first for both of them, but also functionality. Like is the way my skirt gonna go, or like the way my shoes are gonna feel against this floor. I mean, like it's usually mostly those things. Like, yeah. So I go to them if I need help too, and like they'll ask me for sure as well. I remember going shopping with Pamela because she was coming to the States for the first time, and she's like, we're performing at ILHC. Like I don't know what to wear. And like so we found this like really awesome dress, and the first time we did a run through performance at Atomic, it like freaking split. Oh, yeah. No. And then she ended up wearing like another blue dress that she had already, and it worked just as fine. And she was like, actually, this is probably better. You know, so it was really funny.
I've had those incidents where I've bought a dress for a specific reason, and then I've worn it like once or twice, and then it's destroyed. It's the end.
Bye. When you're doing something like that, what do you think are your partners thinking? Do you think they freak out, or do they kind of like help you?
I've never had an incident wherein my dress has like ripped during the performance, but I have been in a performance of the very first team performance I was ever in. We were on a team called Jitterbugs Anonymous. It was the name of our swing dance club.
Okay.
And we went to the
because you didn't want anybody to know who you were. What?
It was just the name of the club. The club was named that before I even was like dancing. I don't know.
It's like Alcoholics Anonymous.
It was like Alcoholics Anonymous, Jitterbugs Anonymous. It was a pretty fun name.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm a jitterbug.
Hi, Rachel. I've been clean for 4 hours and 13 minutes, and I have to say it feels pretty terrible.
That's great. Good job.
We were invited to the Collegiate Swing Battle in
yeah,
Fort Collins,
right?
in
I
Colorado.
remember hearing about that. I never went, but I remember hearing about it.
Back in 2008.
Sure.
Oh man, what a wild ride! But so, right in the middle of our performance, there's this part where like all the couples would get down except for one, and then that couple would like be highlighted. And I was dancing with Brett, and it was our turn to be highlighted. And if you watch the video, you can see the couple in the very back. His name is Andrew. He's dancing with Danny. When they squat down, you can see him look down at his crotch and then look back up, and his eyes are like so big. And he had just split his entire pants all the way,
on the butt, or
all the way down the butt.
Oh,
just ripped his britches. And
shit!
had to
That's
dance the rest of the routine like that.
That has happened to me before, for sure.
It was
Has anything like that happened to you before?
Where I've ripped my britches?
Or
no.
anything? Any part of you? Any part of you?
Any part of me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Or been with been dancing with somebody while that happened?
No, although Anthony used to have this problem. He was so skinny that his shirt.
What do you mean was? He still is.
He still is, but he used to be skinnier, where his shirt could not stay tucked into his pants because he couldn't get pants that were tight enough for his tiny little body. And so
hilarious.
Anytime we would perform or compete, no matter what, his shirt would like come undone.
Oh my God.
And so he started safety pinning his shirt to his underwear.
Yeah. Did it work?
To keep it down,
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I tuck my shirt into my underpants. I get so many people to ask me about this.
Really?
Shirts. Yeah. It's so strange.
You tuck your shirt into your underwear?
I tuck of course, but at the same time,
of course. I don't know.
I think it's a guy thing. It's a guy thing. I think we all know it. But like the safety pin is a good idea. But all guys always ask me, and I'm like, just you keep eating the hamburgers and it'll stay real good. The muffin top really helps. It just helps.
Muffin top is so helpful. Yeah. Okay, well now here's the problem with the safety pin is in the event that something happens where your shirt gets pulled on, it's gonna rip.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Either that or the safety pin's gonna pop and then it's gonna stab you.
Yeah.
Right in the bread basket.
Did it happen to him?
No, he's so skinny.
but then how do you know? Or are you just kind of like, this might happen?
Well, I just know as okay. Well, I did have a skirt. I had was it from Eris Allen? Did they used to sell clothes?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a trumpet skirt from them, and the waist was high waisted, and the waist did not have any elastic in it. And I had gotten the extra small, and it was like the extra small is 26 inches, and I measured my waist, and I was like, oh, my waist is 26 inches. This is perfect.
Fits like a glove.
So I put it on. It's really tight. And I'm like, oh, God. I can barely breathe in this puppy.
Holy shit.
So we did our first performance. It was just like at school. And I popped the
waistband?
The waistband. I popped the buttons.
Whoa.
So I had to safety pin it shut. Bing. And then I bought a larger skirt so that I could be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Live and learn, huh?
Live and learn.
I mean, to be fair, like I take that in consideration, but like I now look at tags all the time to see what they're made of. Like, if it's 100% cotton, I know it's gonna shrink at some point whatever I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
If it's like I got a little bit of spandex in it, then I know it's gonna like breathe
a little stretch,
little
wiggle room.
It's good, but you're lucky. That maybe that's never really besides that point that like I'm splitting the pants or like anything ripping besides like numbers, but that always happens.
Oh yeah, numbers
in the back.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like as a partner, like I feel like that part of that is like if that shit happens, like you're fine. Don't worry about it. Who cares? Just dance really good and no one's gonna care. If they laugh at you, it'll turn to cheers because you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want that confidence. And one time it happened to me with Tenny. I was dancing with Tenny a long time ago at Boston Tea Party. We did a contest together, and it split my pants. I think it was Tenny. I'm pretty sure it was Tenny. It's happening. I'm forgetting things.
So old at 31.
Yeah, seriously. But I do remember for sure it split my pants like really hardcore right down the middle, and it was like right in front of people, and they saw it, and I was like, "Fuck it," because Tenny goes like, "Yeah, fuck it," or whoever's under my arm. Yeah. I keep saying it was Tenny, but I don't know why. But and there was another part like, and when like shit goes wrong, especially in like routines.
Yeah.
At ILHC again with Nikki, I forgot one section of it, and you could see it in the video. I have like two eights to get in this one move, and it's like this big setup to do it, and I completely forgot it. And I just did a swing out, and then I did another swing out, and then halfway through that second swing out, I look at Nikki, and I'm like smiling, and through my teeth I go, I forgot. And she goes, don't worry, just swing me out again and spin now, spin. And she spun herself. Yeah, she said it to me. We had a conversation in the middle of the dance floor while doing a routine at ILHC. And everything was fine, and no one noticed.
Talking.
Oh, did you see me?
I saw you talking. I was like, is he having a conversation during his performance?
I was asking how she's doing, what she ate that day.
Hey, boo, how you doing? I haven't talked to you for a couple hours.
Exactly.
What's new with Nikki?
Yeah, exactly. We just stopped and had a conversation. We had a podcast in the middle of a contest.
Okay. I was talking with Jerry Almonte at ILHC, and he was like, you know what you should do is record the podcast while you're competing. Have a headset.
Oh, that's
and
this
then
is where this came from. I remember this.
Do a live recording of yourself, like talking yourself through the competition.
So like internal monologue.
Yeah, internal monologue as you're doing it.
That's dope. We will do that one day. We'll do it. We'll get there. Get there.
That would be so
We have
good.
So many episodes ready to go, you guys. You have no idea.
We
have the drunk episode. We have the live episode. We have a no cat episode.
Oh. But last week was a no cat episode.
Oh yeah, it was. I forgot. That was
done.
That's probably what it was. Oh
Check.
Yeah, it was good.
Marked.
But there's one thing actually for me, and I want to hear from you as well. Like, do you have any rituals between you and your partner? Like before you compete, before you dance, before any big thing? Do you have anything that you and your partner only do?
Well, I don't really have a partner right now.
No, I mean anytime.
Oh, anytime.
Like,
yeah. I've got a thing that I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is I think I say it more for myself than for my partner. But like right before we go out there, I'm always like, "Hey, let's just go have fun. Yeah, let's just go kill it out there."
See, I love that. I love that because you're saying it for yourself, but you're also saying it for your partner as well. Like, get on the same page with me. Like, let's do this together. We're doing this together.
Like. No matter how we're feeling, no matter or not, like we're nervous or we're ready to kill it, like, let's just go do it. Let's have a good time together because at the end of the day, like, that's what's most important. Like, nobody is going to remember 3 months down the road whether or not I made finals or got third place or got first place. Like, nobody cares. Right.
No, I fucking love that. I didn't know that before, and I really like that. I have one as well, and I've done it pretty much. I mean, besides Cassandra was my first partner.
Okay.
And then I was partying a little bit with Laura Keat and then with Nikki. When I started partying with Nikki at the very beginning of when we were friends and dancing together, we started doing this. Like we would do contests and we just started, we right before they call our name out or like right when we were backstage, we look at each other, give each other a big hug and just be like, all those other people don't matter. It's just me and you out there. And
that's awesome.
Ever since then, any other partner, like I've danced with Avita in contests. I did that same. I was like, no one knows this, but I do this. And it was like, just me and you out there. And then with Pamela and with like Gabby and with Laura.
Yeah.
And again with Laura because I've been working with her more lately. And even this last couple times with Nikki, I did the same thing. And I was like, it was just, it's really comforting for me, but also I want the same thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. Let's just do this for us. Like we've been prepping this up for so much and like wanting to put something cool out there, but let's remember that it's really cool for us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool. And it's just a small thing, you know?
It really is. But that was what really matters, right?
Yeah.
Especially in that partnership.
When I was on Groove Juice Special, we used to have a cheer.
Mm-hmm.
we would put our hands in the middle and say 4 on 3, Jesus on woe. So we're not religious, you guys.
Oh my God.
But so we would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, Jesus.
I love it.
And it was like, when we first discovered
It's
the
like
cheer.
any little luck. Any little bit of luck.
When we first discovered the cheer, we had that same reaction. Like, we thought it was so funny. And so we started doing it because it would just cheer us up to say it. And then Brett would like give us a little pep talk. Brett is like the official
Daddy.
pep talker. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
He's like the official speech giver.
I like it.
Of life.
I like it. I haven't heard one of his pep talks in a while, but I remember I always say this is like when I went to 505 Stomp the first time. I really like your voice on the microphone. It sounds really nice. And I was just getting into emceeing. That's why I was really hyper aware of it.
It's so funny that you say that because when we first started dating back in 2008.
That was forever ago.
8 years ago, right? Yeah. I can count. I has math.
You can count.
I has math. That was one of the things that I said to him was that I thought his voice was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I could listen to your voice forever.
And he was like, yeah, you can.
He was like, you bet you can.
Or did he just like the last episode, he's like, yes.
Yes.
Gets me every time.
He's so snarky.
It gets me every time.
So snarky.
So that's good. I mean, like, there's so many different ways. I mean, we just hit at a couple things about like working with a partnership and and working with a team. I mean, just as much as on a bigger level.
Oh my God.
But
like
everybody,
partners.
I think we can all agree. Like, everybody goes through the same things. You go through ups. You go through downs. You go through periods where you hate each other. You go through periods where you don't talk to each other. And then you go through these magical moments as well, and these moments that are just for you. And that's why that partnership is still some sort of relationship that you have to maintain. You have to work at, just like the dance.
Yeah.
It's you are going to go through those ups and downs. You're going to go through those magical periods, but really it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as you have fun, as long as you like the other person, then that dancing will reflect that.
Have you ever been in a partnership where you were also dating the person?
So let's move on to the question of the day.
Okay. Next time.
Oh, man. Rachel, how do you do this to me every time?
I know how to push Mikey's deepest, darkest buttons. The things he doesn't want to talk about.
Not yet. We'll get to the drunk episode and then we'll talk about it.
Maybe another time, because I had a simple answer for that one. And it's
what?
no. I've never dated anybody and was also a partner with them. Never did it. Brett and I were never officially partners. Like, we've competed here and there. Like, we've been in, like, we performed together with Groove Juice Special, but we were never like, hey, you and me, we're in it. Like, let's teach, let's compete, let's travel together.
This is so funny. It's like, Brett and Rachel, partners in life, but never on the dance floor.
Never on the dance floor. It's totally because of me. I think if he had it his way, we would be. But I'm weird. I'm weird.
I feel you. But I refuse to answer that question. So let's move on to the question of the day.
Sweet.
Go ahead.
Cool. Our question of the day comes from Kristen.
Mm-hmm. I forgot the last name. It's somewhere on here somewhere.
Sorry, Kristen. Apparently, you don't have a last name.
Kristen Marie.
Kristen Marie.
Yeah.
She says, 2 questions, if I may. 1, under what circumstances do you refuse dances and how? And 2, do you have any tips for making sure you enjoy a dance despite there being a significant difference in level between the 2 dancers? I think those questions kind of go hand in hand.
So what do you think? What do you think? When's the last time you said no to somebody or refused to dance?
I say no to people all the time. I mean,
usually for the same reason, or is it a couple different reasons or a couple
different
situations?
Different reasons. One will be I genuinely don't want to dance at that moment or to that song.
Right.
Fun fact about me, I'm a bit of a picky person.
No.
And I know. And I'm picky about the music that I dance to, and I don't just want to dance to any song because I love the dance so much. I mean, I do love the dance so much, but I'm like not one of those people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes there is a list of people who I don't dance with, and I will say no to them every time.
Yeah.
For several reasons, probably because they've either hurt me in the past physically, or I felt uncomfortable dancing with them for whatever reason.
Right. And I think that's really good. That's really great. I mean, they should be no problem if something like those things like you just mentioned happens.
Yeah.
You should have no problem saying, no, thank you. Or just no.
I mean, now I have yet to gather the courage to be like, oh, no, thank you. Not right now. I usually say like, oh, I'm sitting this one out.
Oh, okay.
Or, oh, I'm going to go get some water. And then I will actually go get water. Like I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry. And then I just like sit on the stage or whatever, or go dance with somebody else.
I have. I've said no, because I mean, okay, so there's one situation for me that always happens, and I don't blame the people that ask or anybody that does this, because like it's always at the end of a weekend, end of a festival, and I get tired, and I think
Wait,
most
you get
of the
tired?
a little bit.
You're not a superhero?
I am, but I mean,
for next time.
Ding ding ding. No, we're not ending right there. So keep listening. Yeah, even this past week in Camp Hollywood, it was last night on Monday night. It's because it goes four nights. So on Monday night, it was a fast song, and someone asked me, and they go, would you like to dance? And I turn around and was like, no. That's it. And then she goes, oh, it's really fast. It's not going to do it. She's like, okay. And then she kind of turned around and walked away. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I thought to myself, I was like, dick. I am all that is dick. But like, here's the thing. I really did only said no because I was like, no, it's the fast song. And I was like, at that point I was just so tired. I was so filtered. I was no filter. It was just like, no. But then like literally 2 songs later, I saw her walking, and we both caught each other's eyes, and we both walked to each other. And she's like, how about this one? I was like, yes, and thank you so much. And I said yes, and thank you so much for understanding. And she's like, no problem. And we had an awesome dance, and she was a fantabulous person, and it was great. It was great.
Do you struggle with saying no?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Like I used to find a way to, like you were said, like, oh, I gotta go right now. Oh, I gotta meet someone. I'm looking for someone or something like that. I make up some bullshit, but really, it's not. I mean, I will say yes to pretty much a lot of people, but like, I mean, I have a couple people. Like, if they try to guilt me into a dance, then I mean, right now I'm kind of little. Lots of things, but like, oh, here's the one that's the weirdest, and I really don't like this, is like towards the end of the weekend, it's like, I know it's meant to be like sort of a joke, but it's kind of like not that cool when you hear it like 10,000 times anymore. Like it's the same old thing. It's like end of the dance, and then we're all saying goodbye, or maybe it's in the middle of the fucking dance, like whatever. It's like, oh, hey, I've asked you to dance a couple times and we couldn't get anything I was leaving, or this would happen, or whatever. And then at the end, hey, thanks for that dance.
Oh, why
I bet follows like you guys get it all the fucking time. Like I get it every once in a while, and it like, I'm like, it gets me cross-eyed with anger. Like, God.
Some of the things that people have said to me in the past has been like pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I've got some good stories.
Let's do one. I want to hear one.
With people asking me to dance?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. This was a long time ago. But there's this dance. This is taking so much effort to harness my chi to tell this story. So there's this dance in Albuquerque on Tuesday nights. It's like a rockabilly dance.
All right, we were talking about that earlier. It's also like the most popular swing dance in Albuquerque, just because it's been like the longest running, and it's in this historical building. It's got a great floor, and the building. I think the building was built specifically for swing dancing back in the 40s. Pretty cool. Anyway, I was sitting with my 2 friends, and this dude comes up to me. He must have like the slightiest shoes in the world, because all I remember is him sliding across the room and then putting his hand out right in front of my face.
And he kind of did this thing, like he looked at all three of us, like, which one of you is going to say yes to me? I'm asking all three of you.
I mean, obviously you guys want to dance with me.
Obviously, I'm so desirable. And so, but his hand was like right in front of my face. And so I was like, okay, I'll dance with you. And we start dancing and he's like, do you know the death drop?
Oh my God. That's like the equivalent of like, you want to see the inside of my van?
I know. Well, and I was like, my response to him was, I don't do anything that has the word death in it.
Yeah. That's a real good response. Real nice.
And he was like, and then, oh my gosh. And then I remember he did something where he like stepped over my arms and he wanted me to slide through his legs from behind, but he didn't lead me into it. He was just like, oh, this is what he said. He said, bend over. So he could kick over my leg.
That is again, let's see the inside of my van. Also, there's no light. Just go ahead.
Right. And then he was like, slide through. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do this.
No.
It's mostly in the middle of dances that people say weird things to me. Right. I would say, like, for the most part, the way people ask me to dance is pretty standard. But the biggest one is people just like putting their hand out in front of me and not saying anything.
So rude. So rude.
I think
I think that's only okay if there's like somewhat of a language barrier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't say it, or if you're supposed to say it in your language, they're like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
or like that dude in Harangue who just grunted at me all the time. I wonder if people just think they're being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not cavalier, but like gentlemanly.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm being so prim and proper. Please take my hand. I'm offering it to you. But it feels demeaning though.
Yeah. Oh, completely. Yeah, for sure. And I'm probably guilty of that at some point in my dancing life. At some point doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I can safely say is that I understand. Why people do that, but I can also understand how that can just be so not okay.
Yeah.
So I try to stay away from it as much as possible. But I think as the circumstances go, as refusing to dance, like you said, like if it's gonna hurt me, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I know it's going to, then you can say no. I'm sorry, but like there's being nice, but there's also being good to yourself.
Yeah, well, and like at the end of the day, like no one's gonna take care of me except for me.
Yeah.
You know, so if I don't look out for myself, no one else will. Like my partner is not looking out for me as much as I'm gonna be looking out for me.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back in the same thing of like saying like it's always the lead's fault. Like, no, we're human beings, and we're like, I mean, for the most part, we're like we've been around. So like you could take care of you, I could take care of you, but also I will help take care of you as long as you help take care of me.
I really don't like that phrase. Yeah, actually, I heard some people at Camp Hollywood this weekend shout it out to someone, and I was like,
it's something fun to say. I think people like that, but like really like the connotation of it is actually demeaning towards follows, because it's like you just stay there. Everything is me, okay? It's just me as a leader, and I'm gonna talk like this.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yes.
So that's there's circumstances for sure. That's just a couple. I mean there's so much. There's all these questions are so great out there. That please keep asking us these questions. But I think we have a second part of this, right?
Yeah, the second part, which is, do you have any tips for making sure you enjoy a dance despite being a significant difference in levels between the two dancers?
Yeah, don't think of levels.
Yeah.
Maybe someone is a little bit newer and maybe just learned it, but they're still just as excited as you are about it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right?
When I was running the scene in Albuquerque and I had rhythm, I would make sure that I danced with every single leader within the first hour of the night.
Because you're a good person.
Because scene building.
Yeah, because you're a good person. You want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I don't do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impossible to do in LA. There's just way too many people.
Yeah.
But I would do it in Albuquerque, and there would be a lot of people there who couldn't do anything except for like single time jitterbug. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what I would do during that time is just like strike up a conversation with that person and just get to know them a little bit, because if they can't do anything except for the basic, like they got the basic.
Yeah.
You know, they just can't. They can't do anything else, and so they can engage with you.
Yeah, that's very true. And they're probably going to feel comfortable by that, because they, like, at least they can go like, hey, yeah, this is really fun. Oh, it's my first time here. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that is very
just
true.
making them feel a little bit more welcome.
That is very true.
Scene.
You don't have to. You don't have to do that. But like, I think just in general, like as you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, I've had that happen where they will strike up a conversation, the beginner dancer, but then I'm like, I'm a little weirded out by it at first just because that's me. But then I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine, because you're just gonna end up doing like a basic and a couple tuck turns and a couple passes, and then you do the same thing over and over again. And by like, oh, we're done, and you just completed a whole song with somebody, and you danced it. I mean, you danced it to your best ability, but you had the most fun you could have at that moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's more important than anything.
No, I will say that sometimes beginners will strike up a conversation with me, but they're feeling awkward, so then they say awkward things, and then I feel off-put by it, and then I don't want to engage in the conversation.
Right.
So I think like when I try to engage in conversations with people, I try to just like keep it simple, like, hey, how's it going? How long have you been dancing? You're doing so well.
Right. Keep it about kind of like the focus of what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, what do you do for a living? Like,
people ask me what I do for a living, and they're like, "Ooh, coffee." Ooh, they like get weird about it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that again, that's kind of like my privilege as being a male and also being kind of a leader. I don't really get that awkwardness. But when you start talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, God damn, we could be so awkward.
I cannot tell you all the awkward things that was said to me. It makes me like so
sad and upsetting about it. Like, but I know it. I know what happens.
Well, and I know at the end of the day, like all of these people who are saying awkward things to me are totally good people.
Yeah.
They're just feeling awkward, so then they like say awkward things.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know how to respond.
I think these questions are really good. I think in the end of the day, it's just like if you feel like it might be a little bit awkward, maybe like just wait and like think about it and double guess it. Maybe just hold it back. Instead of saying anything. Using a filter. Or the same thing has to be said about like dancing in general.
Yeah.
Like if you think it's gonna be super awkward, maybe don't try it. Especially if it's really fast. Like maybe don't try it. Like like we've all been there. We all kind of live and learn.
Man.
We all kind of live and learn a little bit. None of us are born with these things. Be like, oh that's
speak for
wrong.
yourself.
I was born with 8 arms, and then I had to cut them all off to.
I am perfect.
Yeah, I am perfect. But yeah, so that brings us to the end. And
what's the bright side for you today?
The bright side for me today, in a dance partnership, whether it's for 10 years or for 3 minutes, I think no matter what, you're going to be in charge of you should be in charge of how much fun you're going to have.
Yeah.
But also you can be somewhat helping out your partner. So like in what I was saying before, it's like how we have our little ritual. Like you say like, we're going to go have fun out there. Let's just go have fun out there. And I'm going to say it's just us out there.
Yeah.
It's still about that partnership and about that moment you're about to have, or that moment you're having while you're dancing. And that's where the magic comes from of our dance. And that cannot be taught. We can talk about it all day long, but like I maybe that's just me. I can't teach it, but like, those magic moments happen whether you've learned them from a class or not. It's gonna happen as long as you're open to it, and again, like you're focusing on the good stuff about you and helping bring out the best of your partner.
Yeah.
So I think that's my bright side.
My bright side is knowing that you tuck your shirts into your underwear. In all. In all seriousness, I'm being totally serious right now.
Damn it, Rachel! Damn it!
There's something.
We just had a moment, and then you fuck it up.
There's something so humanizing about knowing that no matter how fucking fly you look at an event, that I know that your shirt is tucked into your underwear is like so pleasing to me. It's so wonderful.
Oh my God, I hate you so much.
I'm really happy about these thoughts. Like I can just see you like stuffing your shirt into your underwear and like standing in front of the mirror and being like, I look good. Time to put my pants on.
Oh, I hate you. Hey everybody, we are running out of time.
We are so running
out of overtime.
Oh,
this is
the new name of this podcast is called Embarrassing Mikey. Next time on Embarrassing Mikey.
One night stands. No, okay, so with all this said, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you made it this far in, hopefully you had that good laugh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm like, we brought it down. We brought it like real. We got real with that question.
Real.
And then the bright side. And then fucking me in my underwear. Now you just disgusted everyone. That's the thing. It's just
No, I'm sure your underwear is fine.
My underwear is fly, but like when I get in it, well, I don't know. It's just weird. So thank you again for listening. If you made it this far, we are on iTunes. We have SoundCloud. Go check us out, The Brightside with Mikey and Rachel. We have our Facebook like page and also, of course, our own individual Facebook pages. Usually when we get started getting ready to record, we put out something out there.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you guys. We want to continue hearing from you guys. We have a large collection so far of questions from different dancers from all over the world,
we
actually.
want it to be larger.
We want it to be very large.
We want it to be the largest.
One day, I think we'll go through a few of them. We'll do like a speed round, and we'll go through a few of them, and that'll just be the topic of the day.
No, it won't be a few. It will be all of them. It's a speed round.
Yeah? Where do you take all of them?
To the Speedway? I don't know.
In the ass. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for Embarrassing Moments with Rachel. Okay.
You can try, but you won't embarrass me. Keep trying.
And as always, guys, thank you so much.
Bye. Oh my God, how much longer are we going to go?
That's what she said.